wild animals. No more hesitating. We're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. One for the morning, a two for the show. So buckle up, there's no telling where we're gonna go. A glory and fame, a silver and gold. So call us outlaws and leave the fortune for the bold. No more hesitating. We're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. Oh yeah. A 5-4, a 3-2-1. We're gonna fly. We're headed straight for the sun. 5-4, a 3-2-1. We're gonna fly straight for the sun. No more hesitating. We're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. It's explosive. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor, never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shade. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
Anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
LSRTV and CRN Sports welcomes you to the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV and race number 2 in the round of 8 season 10 playoffs. Tonight, Kentucky Speedway, the 1.5 miles is where we're at as these drivers prepare to go for 200 miles around this exciting racetrack. Good evening. Welcome to our coverage. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller joins us in the broadcast booth this week for Monday and Wednesday night. Of course, Cody Deemers was going to be our color guest analyst, but unfortunately something happened where he was unable to join us. So, Jason, we're ready to go, buddy. I know you follow the truck series about as much as you follow the Wednesday series, and this is getting down to the final 4 races of the season. Round 27 tonight. What do you think Kentucky is going to provide this evening?
Yeah, Wesley, I want to say it's probably going to be a little bit more than likely on the side of not really exactly chaotic, probably more than likely a little bit more tame. We don't really have, a stacked field, rather, you could say, here tonight, but still a decent amount of trucks that could provide a really, really good race. A lot of single file, probably. The restarts are going to be really chaotic usually. Track position is absolutely key here, no doubt about it. So that's probably what's going to be key here tonight.
And of course, you look at Dennis Moore, winner last week at Iowa Speedway. He has punched his ticket in to the Championship 6 finale. Or Championship 4, correction, for the finale at Auto Club Speedway on mid-November the 13th for the finale. You got a guy like him, he can just race, and whatever happens, happens. And then you got some guys that are kind of like in the bottom behind 7th on back. Sean Breitzman, Toby Ritters, John Onnenbacher, Dan Lowther. These are guys that really, for Toby Ritters and Sean Breitzman or Jeff Stabnow for that matter. I want to reset here because I was given a run of the top 10. If you're behind the top 4 in the points, obviously you really need to have a good run either points-wise, finish-wise, or if you can get a win, that's even better, Jason, to know that you're going to go to Auto Club and join Dennis Moore for the Championship 4 finale.
Yeah, you have to do good here, no doubt about it, obviously. I mean, when you look at it, the way that the points are shaping up here, that's the thing about this round of 8. You have to have a super, super, super stellar, strong, all the above when it comes to runs in the playoffs, especially now that this is literally crunch time. We talk about playoff time being crunch time, end of the regular season crunch time. No, this is crunch time. You have to, and I can't stress enough, you have to be on your A game. If you're not on your A game, if you're not finishing top 5, if you're not collecting as many points as you can here tonight, you might as well pack it up and go home. And one tough break tonight, one simple mistake could keep you out of that round of 4.
Right now, qualifying is going on. Real quickly, let's go to on-track activity, as qualifying is just about mere minutes left. Here's a look real quickly at those point standings that we were mentioning. You see the top 20, but obviously the number we're really keeping an eye on is 8, because those are the drivers that are in the round of 8 for this playoff race, round number 2, obviously. And if you're literally, like we mentioned, guys behind the top 4, definitely desperation wants to be settled in. You want to have a good run. You want to stay out of trouble. You want to put yourself into a good spot. Real quickly, Kaufman Creative Weather Conditions on the bottom right. Check it out. There it is. Thanks to Brandon Kaufman and Kaufman Creative, our webmaster for livesimracing.com. And there it is, 81 degrees, track temp at 84. Not merely a big change with a wind speed at 6 miles an hour, partly cloudy conditions, and yes, they will be racing into the night here at the virtual Kentucky Speedway as the lights are on. Let's give you the starting lineup for 200 miles, 134 laps at Kentucky. Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom win racing on the front row from qualifying. Dennis Moore, the driver we mentioned that had a pretty good win last week at Iowa, he's already into the Final Four for win racing. And Dan West Jr., the 2-time series champion, alongside in row 2. Row 3 will find Sean Breitzman and Jeff Stabdow, some of those drivers we mentioned that are in the playoffs, but they're on the outside looking in of the Final Four. Devin West and Troy Daggett. Good to see Troy back again to the 99. And your top 10, Jason, will find Brett Johnson and Toby Ritters. Again, driver that really needs to have a good run tonight to try to advance into that Final Four, possibly quicker than them last couple of races left in the round of 8.
Definitely needs to have a really good run, to say the least. But the rest of the field, you got James Vining in the 333 there, and Stephen Bartlett as well in that row with him. Next row, you got Stephen Paulson, BJ Tidrick there in the 72 machine. Next row, also a couple of Ford F-150s, Dan Lowther, Frank Harris, the legend as well. And last row tonight, row number 9, Ray Fournier and Ron Hunter there in 17th and 18th.
So 18 trucks ready to go here for tonight's event. Let's take a look at the race analysis for this evening as the field is rolling off pit road on the bottom left. There it is. Practice sessions are done. 2-lap long qualifying locked up by Kevin Smith to get the pole. And they're going to go again 200 miles, 134 laps the distance. On the 1.5 miles, that is Kentucky Speedway here tonight. Win racing on the front row with Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom. And obviously, Jason, I utter to say we continue to see this battle for a championship as it's been between Team LSRTV and Win Racing this year most of the season.
Yeah, and it's been the same exact thing going on over the CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series on Wednesday night. Win Racing versus Team LSRTV. It's been the dominating two teams pretty much all season long here. Obviously, there are things that can be said. Some teams, they like to come out here, those lone teams, guys who aren't on Win Racing or Team LSRTV, they'll come out here They'll put on the best show they can. They want to try to beat those two dominating teams here, for sure, no doubt about it.
Lights are off on the pace car as it drops onto the apron of pit lane. Here comes the field ready to go here at Kentucky Speedway for the round of 8, race number 2, race 27 of the year. Green flag goes in the air, and we're underway here in Kentucky. Quick start in this race on the opening go. Kevin Smith power into the lead. Dan West Jr. up on the outside, watching all these guys working their way, coming off turn 4. Mile and a half in Kentucky, put lap 1 on the board. And Kevin Smith again, one of those playoff contenders, Jason, leading the opening lap into 1 and 2.
Yeah, came into tonight 4th in the playoff grid, tied for that 4th spot with him and DWJ, who's been dominating on the Wednesday night series. And there is his son Devin right there in that number 5. Couldn't complete the Wednesday night series, decided I'm going to run for points in the truck series. Here he is right now, 3rd in the playoff standing, seated right there. He finds himself trying to look around Sean Brightsman going into 1.
Brightsman trying to tuck in line, going back to the bottom here in the early going start of this race. Devin West will follow. It's, of course, all these drivers in red, as we mentioned, are on the outside looking in for the round of 8 drivers to advance into the championship 4. Guys in green, like Dennis Moore, advances to Auto Club for the championship finale. Right now he's in 3rd. Right there in front of Sean Brightsman. Sean Brightsman on board there with Devin West. They go into 3 now. And obviously, Jason, guys in blue are your drivers that are currently right now in the transfer of the Final 4.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, we're going to be looking at. I mean, look at the top 8 drivers. I mean, they are the top 8 drivers for a reason. Dennis Moore already locked in with the win here in this round and now finds himself in 3rd, trying to pick up yet another win, trying to spoil this playoff picture to prevent somebody from advancing via win. So it would be awesome to see Dennis Moore do very, very well tonight there in that CLICKIT RV Chevy Silverado, no doubt about it. But obviously, we're all focused in on that bubble. And Wesley, if you really think about it, all the way from Ryan Bloom in 2nd, all the way down to Toby Ritters in 8th, they're only separated by 8 points. Or not 8 points, rather, but 10 or 12 points, actually. So you really need to perform well here tonight if you want to try to pick up some points and advance further into that bracket.
A lot of drivers just merely separated by points between 6th, 7th, and 8th for Jeff Stabnow, Sean Brightsman, Toby Ritters. Almost 2 points separate them in the cutoff. Dan West Jr., mere 6 points ahead.
Oh!
Oh boy, wow. Couple of Team LSRTV trucks going at it there, going at it for position. Well, my goodness. And I'll tell you what, Jason, at least they were able to keep it going straight and narrow. That's going to wonder how much damage might be on that truck.
Yeah, it looks like there's a significant amount of damage down the right side of Jeff Stabnow's machine, and I don't know if he's got damage on that right front. That's what I would be worried about the most, and because of how tight these corners are here at Kentucky, especially at 3 and 4, with yourself having to get down on the brakes so much, let the truck roll through the center and get back to the gas. You don't want that truck sliding up through center, even through 1 and 2. It's not nearly as bad as 3 and 4, but if that right front is just dragging with a fender dragging down on the top of that tire, you can be in big trouble. That'll just cause your truck to get very, very tight, and that very well could be the case for Jeff. He's starting to hold up this line right behind him. In fact, he was really high there entering 1 and 2.
Dan West Jr. down on the bottom. Here comes Ritters. This is, by the way, for 6th, 7th, and 8th. All this happening as they work their way back around the corner. Into turn number 1, down to 2. Ritters on the bottom. He'll make a move on Stab now. Johnson will follow at 9th, Daggett 10th. Only 17 trucks took the green flag. Everyone on the lead lap here as we're working lap number 10 when they come to the line with Kevin Smith continuing to be the leader off turn 4.
Yeah, it's been a very solid season here, no doubt about it, for Kevin Smith. Obviously finds himself sitting in that 4th position in the playoff standings, tied with Dan West Jr. like we talked about just beforehand. But it's been a good season here for the 00 machine. You know, he's had his ups and downs, but besides that, strong season. No doubt about it, trying to pick up a win tonight here in Kentucky.
On to the Magic Mile next Monday night. Looking back through the tribal, back to start and finish. You know, Kentucky, one of those racetracks, Jason, that hasn't been on the schedule since, for NASCAR since the COVID year of 2020. And it's, you know, kind of just sitting there idling now in Sparta, Kentucky. But at least we can be able to still make some awesome iRacing memories on the server with the Northwest, as right now everyone's single file. Smith, Bloom, Moore, West strategy right now as we watch these leaders work again off turn number 2 in the early going. And still Kevin Smith, Win Racing, by the way, 1, 2, and 3 in the 3.
Yeah, and Win Racing having a great day. What a great day it would be, or great night rather, it would be if they could finish all on the podium. And then you see one of those Team LSRTV machines right behind him. That's Devin West trying to lock himself in to that final championship for Cambridge tonight. Number 3rd seeded. So he is only 2 points out from Ryan Bloom, who's only 2 positions up ahead of him. So Devin showing his strength ever since we came back from the break. You know, he was really good in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series. Really good there in the off-season, or not the off-season rather, but the summer break with all the fun series. He's been doing really good in the trucks as well. I think Devin West is definitely going to be one of those drivers that you're going to look for probably. If he does advance into that championship 4, he's no doubt about it going to be a huge threat to win this championship.
Ray Fortier with a problem on pit road early on lap number 15 of the 26. He's at 17th. Something going on with the South WibblyTaxi.com entry. He'll come to pit lane while the field flies by. Hey, by the way, top 8 on the track, top 8 in the playoffs in the round of 8 as well. And I'll tell you this right now, or the round of 12. No, it is the round of 8. I'm about to say, you got to fix that up there, Charles. And another thing to think about is all 8 drivers, as Devin West really loose here in just a moment, all 8 drivers are in the playoffs on the track right now. And as we mentioned as well, Jason, they are all LSRTV Win Racing drivers. You've got Win Racing 1, 2, and 3 with Smith, Bloom, and Moore. Then you got Team LSRTV in 4th through 7th with West, Brightsman, Stab now. And don't count out also Devin West in 4th. And then Toby Ritters in 8th, another Win Racing driver as they cross the line.
Yeah, it's just insane how much 1 or 2 teams can dominate a single series. And I mean, the fact that they are all top 8 right now is absolutely insane. And it very well could be, you know, the end of this race. How it is possibly, you know, with the top 8 all being Win and LSRTV drivers. We'll have to see. I think if there's anybody who has a shot to crack that top 8 against these guys, it's definitely going to be Brett Johnson right now. He's been very, very strong in the Wednesday series. He's been very solid here. This season, with obviously the truck series and whatnot, I think he could have an opportunity if presented the right strategy at the right time. He could find himself up here in this top 8, maybe even contend for a podium.
Race number 2 in the round of 8. Going on as they cross the line. 20 laps on the board next time around. Completed, and it is still a couple of Chevrolets, a handful of Chevrolets in the top 5. NWTS 1, 2, and 3. Kevin Smith, Brian Bloom, Dennis Moore. Dennis Moore winner last week in Iowa. And now Devin West trying to run him down. And Jason, I don't know if you remember the story, but obviously on the Monday and the Wednesday series, Devin West was on the outside looking in and had to fight his way to make it into the playoffs. He's done that and more to advance now into the round of 8.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me. I mean, this kid has been driving his tail off all season long here, whether it be trucks, an Xfinity car, a Gen 4 car, a GT3 car, it doesn't matter. Devin West is a really, really good sim driver. Like I said, I personally believe he's definitely going to be one of those guys when you head to Auto Club, if he makes it to Auto Club, that is, but my money is that he does. He's been so strong everywhere he runs here this year in 2023 on the sim racing side of things. I think that this kid probably is going to win the championship. That's my opinion. And I mean, it's just amazing. The fact that he was outside looking in, was able to make it. Obviously, Wednesday, we all know the story, the obligations he had to pull, but here he is competing for a title. He's not out of this right now. And the fact that he finds himself 3rd seed coming tonight, that's pretty good. All he needs to do is keep having these consistent top 5, top 3 finishes.
Just continue to be consistent and put yourself in that spot right now. Highest for team. Oh no, Sean Brightsman got loose on 2.
What a save.
Saves it. Wow. Are the tires going away that fast, Jason, on lap number 23, you think? Or was that just a handling issue on Brightsman?
I'm looking at the times right now, and by the looks of it, I mean, I would say so.
Replay.
These guys, the fastest lap time right now was by Sean Brightsman. That was a 30.984. Last time around, I'm not going to count his lap, but the leader ran a 32.282. So you're looking at probably a little over a second of fall off. And Wesley, I think he genuinely just got loose. I don't think the tires necessarily are going away too quickly. I want to say give it about another 10 laps, and then you'll really see where tires are. I think that the 46 machine just got loose right there, and that's not uncommon. It happens here. We've seen a lot of drivers in the past, and there's only 2 spots on this racetrack where you're going to see it. You see the 25, Ryan Bloom, he gets sideways, and that's one of the 2 troublesome spots here at Kentucky. You get really loose coming off turn 2. We've seen it. You think back, Kyle Busch, 2016 here. He had a qualifying run where he nearly lost it coming off turn 2. Pulled one of the greatest saves I've ever seen in one of those race cars. He's wiggling all the way down the back. And then you go into 3 and 4. You get really tight. You get a guy who's trying to take the side force off the right side of your truck. If they're on the outside, you can slide up, you can get loose, and you can take somebody out.
Going back to what happened to Sean Brightsman as well, Jason, I don't know if you call it or not, but I just called it in the replay. Jeff Stabnow, I think, was kind of on making Sean Brightsman check up and get loose on the error side of caution, because Jeff Stabnow was wicked loose exiting turn 2. I thought he was going to hit the safer barrier whenever they showed the replay of it, and he saved it, but then that made everybody bonsai behind them. And I think that's what caused Sean Brightsman to quickly get on the binders and almost spin the truck out. Look at him again, almost up to the top of the safer barrier. Wow.
It definitely could be a thing, and you know what also could be a thing too, Wesley, and it's a huge key here, especially with how aerodynamic dependent that these trucks are here, is that these trucks, when you get in dirty air, like if you're Brett Johnson right now, you see him right there trying to pass his LSRTV teammate. If you're Brett Johnson, you are struggling with handling because you are in that dirty area. The same goes for Jeff Stabnow, running behind Toby Riggers in 6th. If you get behind somebody, if somebody gets loose, somebody gets tight, you see it happen again right there. The 24 is in the 23's dirty air, or draft wake, basically. You can put 2 and 2 together. And it just ultimately can cause you to get loose. You can have the air taken away off the rear of your spoiler once you pull out line. It can make you tight because you're in that dirty air, you're in the draft wake, and it kind of disrupts the aerodynamics of your truck. And that probably is what happened to the 46 running behind the 24. Oh, he's in the wall again.
Kevin Smith still, wow. Whoa, boy, oh boy. Yeah, there goes again. And this time Johnson will capitalize on this issue for Stabnow. God battles right alongside. Can't, just not fast enough, Jason, to make the pass on.
It's just so hard to pass here too, Wesley. It's really, really difficult. And this has been a track for me that I personally, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but it's a track that I was not very bad at. I was pretty solid at it, and I really liked it just because it was kind of like a rhythm track. You had to get into 1, you had to make it stick on the bottom, get back to the throttle easy, don't get loose. You head into 3, you want to make sure you get on your braking point where you always do. Let the car roll through the center. Once you feel the truck or car, whatever you're driving, get pointed in the right direction, then you could start to throttle up. Don't slide out to the wall so you're not treading those right sides. And then obviously the front stretch is you know, at a D-shaped oval. So it's just really hard to pass here. The opportunities are very limited. I want to say the only times you're really going to ever pass anybody is probably down the straightaways. You have to capitalize off turn 4 and off turn 2.
Believe it or not, we are approaching 100 laps to go. And all the while, Kevin Smith, still the man leading. We still watch Jeff Stabnow, who fell back to 7th. Tindrick is right behind him in the Miller High Life entry Ford. Johnson, his teammate, for Stabnow, back now into the 9th spot. And Brightsman right there in the teal green 46, the top 10. Top 5 still the top 4 with iRacing of Kevin Smith, Dennis Moore. Devin West now gets around Ryan Bloom. Dan West Jr. up to 5th.
Yeah, and Devin West is doing a really great job there in that 5 machine, and same with Dan West Jr. there in that 5th spot. The Wests came out to play. They do every single week. I look for them to probably be contenders here at the end of this race, but obviously, Wesley, the thing was, like we talked about in the beginning of the broadcast, this race was probably going to get strung out. It was going to be a single file race and all going to be about, can you keep tires on it? Pit strategy, that was going to be the next thing we were going to talk about. When do you pit? Will you take the undercut? Will you try to stay out longer? Jeff Stabnow won in the Cup Series off of a pit strategy call last year by taking the overcut, waiting to come to the pits. So we could possibly see somebody do that as you see him battle with the 72 of Tindrick down into 3 and 4.
All that goes on again. Kevin Smith, still the top dog, leading the way. 100 laps to go. 99 when they come to the line. Top 5, Kevin Smith, Dennis Moore, winner last week in Iowa. He's already in the championship 4 finale. Of course, when it wraps up at Auto Club in 4 weeks. Devin West, Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Toby Ritters right now. That's how it is in the top 5 and the one on the outside looking in. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification. This is iRacing on CRN, the Northwest Truck Series playoffs. We're back in a moment.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
36 of 134 laps, just under 100 laps to go. Jason Rockefeller in the booth. I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten on production. Kentucky Speedway, race number 2 of the round of 8. Kevin Smith is leading the way for Win Racing, Jason.
Yeah, he's been doing such a great job holding off everybody, but he's got Dennis Moore right on his back bumper. And you got to think that Dennis is probably giving his teammate just a little bit of leeway, knowing that Kevin isn't locked into the next round, obviously, of a win. And a win would go a long way for Win Racing, considering that that would be 2 out of the 4 spots taken up by him that are locked in here. So you got to think Dennis Moore could be playing a little bit conservative with his teammate out there.
Kind of just playing with him as he works back out of the corner. Dennis Moore, obviously the faster truck, no doubt. But he also is letting Kevin Smith continue to hold on to that top spot. As you mentioned, Kevin Smith is number 4 in the points in the round of 8. 2 right now. Just kind of, if you will, willing and dealing with Dennis Moore. Obviously, Jason, you can see is the faster truck.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt about it. I mean, you look at the lap times, and he was just a little bit faster than Kevin last time around by about a 10th, or not a 10th rather, but a 100th. I expect him to be the same. Maybe Kevin's just trying to save a little bit more tire, but I really do think that this 44 is, no doubt about it, faster than the 00. So the 4 is trying to catch the 00 right now. That time around, Kevin was a little bit faster, probably because Dennis had to check up a little bit out of turn 4. I noticed got a little bit higher up. But also, we talked about it too, Wesley. It's so hard to pass here, so maybe that could also be another reason why we're not seeing this 44 get around the 00 yet.
Pit stops underway. Green flag pit stops happening for the first time here on lap number 41. And that's BJ Tindrick and Dan Lowther in. And I got a feeling, Jason, within the next 8 to 10 laps, we'll see everyone else come in as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it there, Wesley, for sure. I think Dan Lowther, though, trying that undercut, was a little bit further in the pack. He comes in. BJ Tindrick, he's in as well with a little bit of right side damage there to that number 7 on the 72 machine. Troy Daggett, he's in as well. Here comes Ryan Bloom, one of those first guys up in the top 5, trying to pull the undercut right now. This is going to open the door wide here for these guys trying to come to pit road.
Green flag pit stops underway as now Ryan Bloom coming down pit road. Daggett also in, along with, as we mentioned, Tindrick there on the pit exit. We're going to go double box for you to watch the pit stops by Bloom and the battle for the lead. Dennis Moore, Kevin Smith going at it on lap number 43 here in Kentucky. Dan West Jr., Toby Ritter's on pit road as well. Whoa, look out, Dennis Moore! Oh!
What a save!
Wow.
I thought he lost it there for a second.
Lap truck of Dan Lowther as a pick for Kevin Smith, and he will pull away from the 44. Though Moore is still in second. Devin West on pit road. Many are coming down pit road, Jason, as I mentioned.
Yeah, many coming down on pit road. Once Ryan Bloom decided to come into the pits here, Wesley, it just opened the door wide for a lot of these guys. Devin West, the second guy out of those main drivers to come in. Here comes Brett Johnson. He's been one of those fast guys for Team LSRTV, probably the fastest out of the non-playoff contenders. And here comes the 00 machine of Kevin Smith. Gonna try not the undercut since he was the leader, but gonna try to leapfrog rather this 44 in the timing sheet. We'll see where he ends up here after this cycles through.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere between 45 to 50 laps is when everyone else will come down pit road. And obviously lap 45, Kevin Smith is in. Drivers that have not pitted are 3, Sean Breitzman, Dennis Moore, and Stephen Paulison. Kevin Smith is going to exit on the racetrack, Jason, in the 4th spot. That's how good his truck is.
Yeah, that's just how good his truck is. And also, you got to look at the timing sheet right now. Look at that leaderboard. Everybody right now, back before 3rd, is all a lap down. So everybody's going to get their lap back eventually. I think Dennis Moore is just trying to go out here and win. He's trying to do something different. That's probably why he hasn't pitted just yet. Sean Breitzman, I don't think his truck is good enough to contend if he doesn't try to throw something out the window. Stephen Paulison, the same could be said for him. One of those guys running towards the back. He's trying to pull a different strategy. It doesn't shock me that we're seeing some strategy here, especially out of one of these guys who's already locked into the championship 4.
Jason, could you think that maybe Dennis Moore, Sean Breitzman, going for a one pit stop in this race, trying to go to halfway in 20 laps?
I mean, this track is a mile and a half. I just called a Homestead race. They went about 60 laps on a tank of fuel. I mean, it's not far-fetched, but I can't see them doing it considering how much time they're going to lose if they were to only one stop. I just don't see there being a possibility. I think this is probably more than likely going to be a 2-stop race.
All right. So far, closing in on 50 laps, and it has been green all the way. Let's take a look real quickly at the Virginia811.com race summary information. Bottom left of the monitor, and there it is. One lead change. That was by virtue of pit stops between Kevin Smith and Dennis Moore. No cautions. No caution laps on the track
Here
either.
Comes.
And on lap number 49, approaching lap 50, Dennis Moore on the pit lane. Jason, Sean Breitzman, 11 seconds back to Dennis Moore, and he's now committed to come down to pit road as well.
Yeah, they're all
Here
that
comes
same
the
strategy.
46. Yep.
They're all going to be on the same strategy right here.
Paulison in. And guess what happens? Cycle it back around to everybody going back to the lead lap, as Jason mentioned. And now Ryan Bloom, at crossing the line, moves back to the top spot. Kevin Smith in second, half a second back behind his partner, his teammate. Ryan Bloom, the dominator of win racing this year. 6 wins for the Ryan Bloom 25. One driver joins him with more, or with him with the most wins, and that's Dennis Moore with 5.
Yeah, Ryan Bloom's had a really good season in the trucks here. And Wesley, we were just talking about this last week at Homestead for the CLICKIT RV Fix series, is that Ryan Bloom, he hasn't gotten a win yet in the Fix series, but here he is having a terrific season in the trucks. But oh boy, that could have been cut real close right there. He just chopped the nose off of the 00 entering turn 3, and he slides up the track, opened up the door for Kevin Smith to go to the bottom side. That's the battle for the lead, and look who's right behind them. Here comes the kid, Devin West, trying to look to the bottom on Ryan Bloom for second.
The Shelton, Washington driver, Team LSRTV contender. By the way, in the points, Kevin Smith
no!
fifth. Oh, contact! Oh, he dirt tracks it off too! Devin West gave Ryan Bloom plenty of room to let him correct. And we keep it off the wall and no caution. Wow!
Heads up driving by both of those drivers. See, I don't think that the 25 expected the 5 to come down, and I don't think the 5 expected the 25 to make a move that late going into the corner. They were 3 wide, they had no idea. Devin tried to lay off, and the 25 was just right there. Nothing you could do about it, but a great Great save out of the 25, no doubt about it. Dirt tracking it into 3 and 4, all the way off 4, and Devin West heads up, driving by him to let Ryan Bloom correct it, not run into him anymore.
Charles Wood, I think that's worth a replay, isn't it? Watch this. The 00, the 5, the 25. If something happens on the track, we'll break in, but watch this replay. What just happened a moment ago? My goodness.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here at the replay in just a second once we get it. And I just can't believe that this 25 machine was able to save that right there. And here's the replay. There it is, going into the corner. Ryan Bloom didn't know the 5 was going to come down, and the 5 didn't know the 25 was going to come down. They meet in the middle. There you go.
And a great piece of respect by both, not only Ryan Bloom, but even Devin West, Jason. Looking at the bigger picture here. Because he could have not lifted, he could have just said, hey, I'm going to turn you. And he didn't do that. And we still stay green.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to the left rear of the 25, and he really got the 5 of West really got Bloom loose. And he really backed off, Jason. He did. He backed off. He could have just stayed right in the throttle. And honestly, I wouldn't say he was his fault. It's racing. It's hard racing. That's the end result. But Devin West backed away. Great piece of driving.
Yeah, and a great piece of driving again by both those guys. I mean, like I said, Devin West didn't know the 25 was going to come down that late. 25 didn't think that the 5 was going to pull out of line and try to make it 3 wide. But I also don't think that Devin, because you can only see so much in front of you when you have another truck right on your front bumper, Wesley. And it goes like a super speedway kind of when you're in line. You have no idea what's going on in front of the guy that's right in front of you because you can't see. So I don't know if Devin West probably even noticed that they were going to be too wide going into that corner. They met in the middle. They made contact. They were able to save it. Just a racing incident. No harm, no foul. And that just puts them to second and third right now. Lets that 00 get away now for over a second and a half.
Kevin Smith, Devin West, Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., along with Dennis Moore, your top 5. You see the scoring pylon lit up like a Christmas tree. Those drivers in gray are just racers. They're not even playoff contenders. If you're in red, you're outside the championship Final 4. If you're in blue, you're one of the drivers that are in the Final 4 spots by points right now. And if you're in green, one man in green, Dennis Moore. You'll see his truck 44 for Win Racing to battle for one of the championships coming up in 3 weeks in the finale, November 13th at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, great season for a lot of these guys, especially most of the guys who are up here in this top 8. I mean, Toby Ritters, he's been strong in both series this season. Sean Brightsman, pretty much a dominator on the Wednesday side. He's had a solid season here. Ryan Bloom, solid season on Wednesday. Great season here on Monday. Kevin Smith, great season on Monday. Has the occasional Wednesday race. Devin West, know the story. And then Dan West Jr., my oh my, boy oh boy, that guy has just about dominated everything on the Wednesday side of things. And what better would it be if he could go lock himself in to that championship 4 and do the exact same here for the championship 4 for the Wednesday side. That would give him 2 opportunities to go win 2 titles.
And those drivers that are trying to make it in by virtue of, well, not anymore because Dennis Moore just split it up. I was going to say Kevin Smith, Devin West, and Ryan Bloom. Those are the drivers that are right now in the top 4, joining Dennis Moore. Red right now with West, Ritter, Stabnow 5, 6, and 7. Brightsman way back. almost 20 seconds to the leader in 10th. And all of this going on. As we are still, I can't believe this, Jason. We're approaching halfway in this race, and we have still been some thrills and spills along the way. It's been interesting, but no yellow flags at the moment. And what an entertaining show it's been for the first 65 laps as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it here tonight. I mean, this has been some great battling up here in the top 5, and still some great racing. There goes Dan West Jr. He gets around that 25 from Ryan Bloom. He's kind of scored off ever since the contact with him and Devin West. Devin never got really sideways, so he was able to just maintain his own. Ryan Bloom, on the other hand, he's kind of fallen back ever since he got sideways, so maybe that kind of played a little bit of a part. You see him right there, loose going through the near center of 3 and 4, and he's loose again on the exit of turn 4 that time around, trying to hang on to it.
Ryan Bloom, and that 25 right there. He is currently in the number 3 spot, all this happening. Actually in the top 5 as we watch all this happening now. As these drivers will be coming to the line. Cross flags will be going in the air, and we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Believe it or not, hard to believe it's not even been an hour since we've been on the air. We welcome you to the LSRTV Mid-Race Report. I am Wesley Outland. Jason is downstairs. And, whoa, Ryan Bloom almost getting loose. Getting sideways. It'll save the 25. Still no caution. And, Jason, that's one of the things I hit on here. No issues whatsoever to slow this race down. And it has been all-in racing, showing their dominance in the first half of a caution-filled event at Kentucky Speedway. Your take of the first half and leading up to part 2.
Yeah, it's all been pretty much a strategy race so far. Nothing else really to it. I mean, there's been a lot of battling up in that top 5. We could say easily that Kevin Smith is probably the dominator of this race. He has the truck to beat, hands down. Win Racing, Team LSRTV, they came out to play. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat any of those two teams. If you're not on them, well, then you better be on them, because they're pretty much half the field here tonight. It's going to be tough to beat either of those teams. I really, really like Devin West. I think given the opportunity, given the right strategy, positioning, timing, whatever, maybe even a yellow, I think this 5 has what it takes to outrun this 44, to outrun the 00. Kevin, though, he really, if you think about it, Wesley, he hasn't really had a battle for the lead recently. You know, I mean, he had the 44 in his bumper at one point, then he had the 25 and the 5 on him coming out of the pits. Besides that, he's been having a clear track, like you see right there down the back.
There's been I think a handful of times I can count on my hand, Jason, that we've gone flag to flag. Do you think we'll see this happen in a playoff race, or do you think the intensity will pick up as we move down to the end of the race? And there's been a couple of times we know that there's been cautions that could have got through, but it just shows you how great these drivers are in quickly being able to figure out how to fix these trucks when they get uncorrected.
It doesn't really surprise me that they're so quick to correct them. I mean, remember, these trucks have less horsepower than any of the top 3 divisions that we run, so they're easy to correct, probably just because of the amount of downforce they have. Remember, these trucks are super aerodynamic dependent, just like the Cup cars nowadays. If the second you have a fender hanging out with these new Cup cars, the second you get side by side with somebody, you're getting tight, you're getting loose, you're going to the wall, etc. The same goes for these trucks. So with that being said, I don't know if we will probably have a caution. We'll have to see. Everything is really strung out right now. But the opportunity is presented when we do have another round of green flag pit stops, which we probably should, I believe, is getting on the pit road. Will anybody not execute? Will somebody spin? Will somebody speed? That's where you got to really look. That's where the trouble could be presented.
Final question, and that is, can Kevin Smith win this race, Jason, and have now 2 drivers a part of Win Racing going to the Final Four?
Yes, I think so, just because of the sheer fact of how strong that 00 has been tonight. But again, the only what-if question that I have is that he hasn't had a legit opportunity on the long run to see if he can, you know, have somebody battle him. Again, we saw the 44 get there, could never pass him. We saw the 25 and the 5 get there, but that was coming off pit road. We never saw the long green flag run like we've seen in the middle of the run right now. So I think it's safe to say right now it's looking like a 75% chance. I think the 00 will go to victory lane. But the beauty about racing and sports is you just never know.
And that has been your mid-race report for LSRTV. Let's go back to on-track activity. We're picking up Sean Breitzman working around the track right now in the 9th position. He's a driver, Jason, that's really got to find some momentum and turn things around and get better after his most scary moment in the early going with Jeff Stabenow.
Yeah, I think that probably by the 46 standpoint, I mean, this truck has just not been there. He's been in the top 10 pretty much all night, but I mean, he has had one wicked, you know, bad truck tonight. Not in a good bad way, in a bad way. I just don't think this 46 is up to par like he is on the Wednesday side of things here with tonight, obviously. Remember, Sean needs to have a good night. And we talked about earlier, Wesley, about being crunch time. If you're a driver in this top 8, you need to finish top 5, top 3. There is no finishing 10th. There is no finishing 8th. You need to finish 3rd to 5th if you're going to advance. You need to do that every single week in these rounds if you want to advance. For Sean Breitzman, I don't know, man. It's looking like he's probably going to have to get one going into next week because he came into tonight 7th. It's looking like he's going to have to win that, probably.
Let's pick back up the leader as we see Sean Breitzman working into 3. The leader is back off into 1 and 2. There's the interval as the lights begin to illuminate here at the virtual Kentucky Speedway. And the game of Win Racing 1 and 2 on again is Dennis Moore. Powers to the inside of Kevin Smith. He'll clear him as he work into 4 and go to the lead of the 44, Jason.
Wow, well, that was quick. I didn't even know. There you go. Now we've seen this medium length run, and it's going into this long run. Dennis Moore won't be able to get past his teammate. I thought that the 00 was very strong. Saw him get out to a lead of about nearly 2 seconds. Then all of a sudden, it was just gone in the blink of an eye. And now that the 44 is out front, he is leading by almost 5/10 of a second nearly on this 00. As you see Kevin overdrive the corner, slides up a little bit, going through 3 and 4. So that 25%, Wesley, that I talked about Kevin Smith possibly not winning, it's looking like that could be the favorite percentage.
Last time, Dennis Moore and Kevin Smith both pitted. Dennis Moore lap 50, Kevin Smith lap 45. Closing in on lap number 90 in 10 more laps. And that will be, another 45-lap run. Is right now we see Dennis Moore, if he pitted on lap 50, and let's say he pits at lap 100, he still has 30-some-odd laps left to go. This race is flying by. Caution free, Dennis Moore. Kevin Smith, Devin West, there you see him from a view of the racetrack. Let's feel the roar around the Kentucky Speedway as these guys are all spread out. Kevin Smith coming at you now, full song out of turn 4. Well, that's what it sounds like the virtual Kentucky Speedway night, as everybody, Jason, is just all littered around the racetrack. I mean, literally, nobody bunched up with one another, and that's what happens when you get green flag pit stops. 12 trucks on the lead lap. James Vining, by the way, let's show him real quick in the 12th position, the 333. James Vining is the last truck on the lead lap. And by the way, our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family on the passing of his father.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I give my condolences, thoughts and prayers, obviously, over to the whole Vining family. And James is having himself a solid run. I know that he's right now the last car on the lead lap, about to go a lap down right here as he works with not Devin West, but rather Dennis Moore to his inside. That 333, though, is kept it clean all night long. James has been getting better and better every race, kind of similar like what we saw with with Toby Ritters, Brett Johnson, and others here this season, from Daytona all the way to now at Kentucky. I look for this 333 to be very strong towards the end of the season and probably going into next season as well.
Closing in on 50 laps to go. Let's take a break, but we're not going to miss anything as we go side by side. All of your playoff drivers in the top 8. Dennis Moore, winner last week at Iowa, leading here tonight in Kentucky and trying to do it again in the round of 8, race 2.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. We had 2 good grooves.
But anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
So if you remember, Kevin Smith pitted lap 45, Dennis Moore pitted lap number 50. Jason, they're pitting in unison with one another right now. The money stop ongoing and pit stop green flag number 2.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We just saw Kevin Smith come into the pits right before Dennis Moore. Then Dennis wanted to take the advantage to come to pit road. You see also other drivers on pit road. Here comes Frank Harris. James Vining as well there in the 333 machine. I think that this 46, though, should be able to maintain this lead, even though the 00 came in a lap prior.
There's your pit counter of how many times people have pitted. All the while, Ryan Bloom is the new man up in front. He's not pitted just yet. Pitted on lap number 42. Sean Brightsman pitted on lap 50. He's coming in now. Sean Brightsman, he better do the right thing and pit with him. Go for the undercut. Sean Brightsman wants to go to the lead. He'll lead this lap. Sean Brightsman up in front now. And Jason, over the years, we know that Sean Brightsman is one of those drivers that will pull some crazy shenanigans and roll the dice.
Yeah, I think he definitely can for sure. I mean, the thing that it's going to take, though, is it's going to take a yellow. He's going to absolutely need a yellow flag, no doubt about it, if he wants any remote chance at having this strategy pull off. There is no way that he's going to be able to make it to the end of this race for sure. And he's going to have to pit, and he's going to run that tank dry, but I guarantee you he's going to run it until the very last drop of gas is in that fuel cell, and it is gone, it is burned up. I can see this 46 staying out as long as he needs to, considering the night he's had.
Brightsman in front, Vining, by the way. A couple of laps down in the 333, trying to battle to get back on one of those laps back. We are approaching lap number 95, 100 laps in the distance. I can't believe this, Jason. We've been caution-free. Kentucky Speedway usually can be a caution-filled place. That's just not the that's just not the case tonight.
No, it definitely was not the case at all, Wesley. I mean, but who knows? We still have that opportunity. We talked about it before there during our mid-race report. You know, sports, anything can happen at any time. You just don't know. We very well could see a late race caution. You just don't know with how loose some of these guys are getting in the middle part of these runs on a set of Goodyear Eagles. I would not be surprised if we had a late race yellow due to somebody trying to push the issue.
All of this going on as, again, awaiting Sean Brightsman to come down the pit lane. I'll tell you somebody else, Stephen Paulison, Jason, has not pitted either. He's in 6th. He's only pitted one time.
I'm surprised that Stephen staying out as long as he has. But you got to remember, too, I think because Stephen stayed out longer, he's going to go for that overcut. He's going to try to pit later on into this run here. He's going to lose some time, but he's going to gain that time back with those fresher tires. And we've seen how crucial that fresh tires has meant tonight. About 2.5, nearly 3 seconds of fall off. This 58 very well could have a good run here if he plans his strategy just right. But I think if he wants to do it, Wesley, he's going to have to come in soon.
Closing in. Lap number 100 and a few more laps. There's Toby Ritters. Toby has had a good day so far, Jason. Just not been able to crack outside the top 5. And here comes Brightsman in, but I was going to say neither has Stabnow.
I don't know why Stabnow would stay out so far into this run if he hasn't pitted yet. But I mean,
No, I was just referring that Jeff Stabnow, he's already pitted. I was referring that Jeff Stabnow is like Toby Ritters. They've had a solid top 10 run, but they haven't been able to climb anywhere past the top 5 in tonight's race. That's what I was referring to.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Jeff's had some great saves. Toby, he's had a solid night. But again, we talked about it. You need to finish top 5, top 3 if you want to maximize those points. And with the way that Toby's running tonight, he very well could close in a lot of points on that top 4 going in to Loudon next week, possibly. I think he's going to have a great shot to make the championship 4 He's just going to have to really perform going into next week.
Lap 100, 34 laps to go when they come to the line. Now 33 remaining. Dennis Moore up in front. The interval is almost 2 seconds. There's Ryan Bloom, 13 seconds back to the top 4 that are 5 seconds back to the leader Moore. Remember Dennis Moore for Win Racing. He won at Iowa last Monday night. He advances to the championship 4 in 3 weeks at Auto Club. He just wants to continue to run the table, Jason, in the round of 8.
Yeah, there's so many guys here. Ryan Bloom, though, he's having himself a solid night tonight, like obviously a majority of the playoff guys besides Sean and Bryce. And Ryan Bloom, again, we talked about it, Wesley, me and you, on the Wednesday show. This guy, no wins on Wednesdays. Mondays, though, different story, you know. I guess in his case, you know the old saying, you know, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. For him, it's maybe sell on Wednesday, win on Monday. I guess if that makes sense for him. He's had himself a great season. I think genuinely he's very well could go to this championship 4. But I mean, in general, I'm looking here at the point standings right now from when this race first started. And I mean, you look at this top 8. This is the best 8 drivers of this series, hands down. You look at it. I mean, Dennis Moore is already locked in. If I wanted to say another 3 drivers, I think that could probably make it. I think Ryan Bloom looks safe right now for points. I think if he could pick up maybe 1 or 2 more spots, it would help him. I think that Devin West and Dan West Jr. very well could fill those last 2 spots. They've both been very strong this season in the Northwest Series, whether it be Wednesday or Monday. It doesn't matter. Both of them can drive here on the sim. So if I had to pick top 4 right now, Dennis Moore, probably Devin West, Dan West Jr., and I say Ryan Bloom would be my final 4.
And right now, Dennis Moore hitting his mark perfectly. Kevin Smith came into this race with the number 4 seed. He is second on the track. Fastest man of the night, 38.65. But he's 1.5 seconds back and trailing to his teammate, Dennis Moore. He's got truck slap machines up in front of him.
I think if Dennis Moore wants to try to outrun Kevin Smith, I think he's just going to have to maneuver around the lap traffic the best way he can. But I mean, Kevin's been really good on the short run. It's just this long run. I think that Dennis Moore really has prevailed better than this 0-0. I mean, it just shows with the stats. Remember, we had that one medium length run right before pit stops happened. The 44 caught the 0-0. But he could not pass him. Then he got around him after doing a little bit later strategy. Didn't surprise me. The 44 was able to get past the 0-0, but he did it in very quick manner. I think this 44 very well could be setting himself up to go win yet another race here in the playoffs for sure.
Closing in on 110 of 134 laps. Stab now up to 7th. He's still 17 seconds back. That's Ritters and Stab now 6th and 7th. And while all this goes on, looking, trying to find a way to get to him. Trucks on the lead lap, including Johnson and Pidrick in the back in 8th and 9th. They are 30 seconds back. Breitzman, first truck a lap down. 9 trucks on the lead lap, and again, Jason, as I mentioned, 30 seconds from 1st to 9th from the leader, Dennis Moore, as we close in on 25 to go.
Yeah, Kevin Smith, he's trying his best, but it's just not working out right now. He's lost about, I'd say like about almost 0.3 of a second now. Now it's over 2 seconds from where we last talked about it. I just think that if Kevin Smith wants to try to win this race, this 44 either has to fall off tremendously or he's going to have a late race yellow.
Of 8, you might have to hope that you have enough points to be able to transfer, if you will, to the championship 4 if you're those last 3 spots looking in.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely a possibility here, Wesley. I mean, that was going to be the case yesterday in the NASCAR Cup Series race. Everybody thought that Kyle Larson was going to go out there and dominate. That would have been 2 out of the 3 races ran so far in the round of 8 that he would have won and taken away points from somebody trying to lock in. That very well could be the same here for Dennis Moore, taking points away from the guys who need to win or need every single point that they can earn to try to make it in. And now obviously these guys, by the looks of it, if this race were to end right now, or at least if I were to tell these guys, hey, like, you know, this race is just going to go green all the way to the end, there ain't going to be any more winners. They're going to race their tails off because they know they have to maximize their points. They're never going to catch Dennis Moore. Dennis Moore's in the zip code of his own now at this point. It's 3.1 seconds. You're going to need a caution. And if you don't have that, you want to make sure that you're fighting for every position you can, like Jeff Stabenow is trying to on Toby Ritters, because that 1 point could be all it needs when they head to Loudoun next week.
20 laps to go to the finish of this race. It has been caution-free since the drop of the green flag. No problems whatsoever for any of these drivers on the track. Had a couple of scares. You saw them in the replays. But ready to bring this to the finish. And I'm telling you, Jason, look at this. 19, 18 to go when Moore comes back to the line. And by the way, he continues to increase that lead on his teammate, Kevin Smith, the pole truck, as they work to the line out of 3 and 4.
Yeah, this 44 has been so strong, and what could have been a night for this 00 machine. I just, you know, it's kind of like a what could have been, man. Like, what else do I got to do to go out there and beat my teammate? And now, not only is he running second, but he has an opportunity to, or not an opportunity rather, but he could very well fall victim to Devin West, who has ran him down for that second spot. And the 00 is trying to get around lap traffic. They're 3 wide off turn number 4. This is going to hurt the 00, and it brings the 5 all the way to his rear bumper practically, back by about a car length and a half, now making 2 car lengths as they work into 1.
Gotta wonder how impatient Kevin Smith will get, trying to find a way to get by these lap machines. Kevin Smith's got to go. He's got to go now, Jason. He's got to get around West. He's got to get around Tindrick. These are guys that are a lap down. Or at least, Tindrick is, not Devin West. Kevin Smith just got around West for second.
Yeah, I'm just not too sure. But guess what? Guess what right now? This 00 machine just closed in a ton off this 44, so I don't know if I keep saying Devin, but Dennis Moore, I don't know if Dennis just ran into a super tight situation, but he just lost about 2.5 seconds of his entire lead. So lap traffic might very well come into play here.
Yeah, it was just about 3 seconds, and now it is 1.7 seconds and shrinking. Charles, I don't know if there's a way you can show well, there you go. A little glimpse of Dennis Moore was in the view. As Smith up high, getting around Devin West. 1.8 seconds. 15 laps to go. There you go. This is a pretty good tell of the tape. Pick up Dennis Moore on the back stretch. There you see him, and there you see those drivers. And Jason, all he's got now is clean air. That's it.
Yeah, he's got about one lap truck in front of him, but it's not really going to matter all that much because it's not going to play that much of a difference. Remember, Dennis Moore can run his own race. Those guys behind him, they're running their own race. You see BJ Tidger coming down to the pits this time by. But these guys are all running their own race right now. And Dennis Moore is car lengths behind the next set of lap trucks. This 00 and this 5, they race side by side, they battle. It's just going to help Dennis Moore more and more.
Let's pause for 10 seconds of network identification on CRN, the Community Radio Network. The finish from Kentucky next.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Back here in Kentucky, caution free and ready to bring this one on home for a late night supper. As it's in the oven, Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller, Charles Wing, caution free. Dennis Moore trying to win another race in the round of 8. I know up top it says NWTS playoffs round of 12, race 3. That is because the Northwest Xfinity B Series cars, fixed series, will be in action on Wednesday. Poor Charles has had so much going on in his life, he forgot to update it. But this is race number 2 in the round of 8. And there's 2 more rounds after this race in the Monday night series. That's New Hampshire and Las Vegas. And Jason right now, Dennis Moore is trying to win 2 for 2.
Yeah.
What time you updated it? No, I'm not.
You changed it. That's not okay.
He did it. You did it. You got it.
There you go. Only took him 160 laps.
Well. It's all back up. In to go. And of course, Dennis Moore. Kevin Smith.
Oh, no.
Is Kevin Smith blinking?
Oh, he just did.
My goodness. Oh, hold on there, brother.
9 laps.
He's got to hate me. Stop playing Fortnite.
Kevin, imagine if you're Kevin Smith, and obviously a little joke in here. Imagine if you're Kevin Smith and you're running and you get picked up by some, semi-pro, pro esports team. And they say, oh, well, what was almost your biggest achievement? Oh, heading to the Final 4. Well, how did you not get there? Oh, my kid was on Fortnite and turned off the internet.
Oh, just don't overreach. Hold on about 8 more laps, son. Give him that much. Actually, it should be your bedtime. It's what? 1 o'clock on the East Coast. It's got to be, what, 10 o'clock? Yeah. Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It depends on how young the kid is. Should be in bed. Here we go to the line. Dennis Moore, Kevin Smith, Devin West, Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom, Ritter, Stab down. Johnson, Brightsman, Harris, top 10. 9 trucks on the lead lap. Harris, first truck a lap down. And Jason, there's Dennis Moore, and he must have hit the afterburner button because, honestly, Kevin Smith is losing ground on Dennis Moore again by almost 3 seconds.
It is crazy to think that Dennis Moore had that 3-second lead, then it almost was diminished by lap traffic. It was down to 1.7. Now it's all the way back up to almost 3 seconds. It's come around this time, 5 laps to go. I can't believe Dennis Moore is about to steal more points away from these playoff guys when he's already locked in.
And again, you might force these guys needing points positions. There you see the battle going on for first. There's your leader, Dennis Moore. Lap truck of Harris up ahead. Correction, that's Paulison. And then you got Devin West and Kevin Smith going at it for second and third. And honestly, Jason, with 5 to go, watching the battle on the bottom, that's what's holding Kevin Smith up. Devin West is literally a pest for the 0-0 now at the line.
Yeah, basically, I mean, this is a huge battle on the racetrack. I don't think people realize how much this battle means right here between the 0-0 and the 5, because you look at the points here tonight, those guys were 3rd and 4th. They were nearly tied for that 4th position. Kevin was tied with Dan West Jr. He's going to get more points than Dan here tonight. But if Devin were to pass Kevin, that would almost make that gap 1 point. 1 point heading into Loudon next week. That would be a story that we would have to watch.
An amazing story. As we move into New Hampshire, next Monday night, the penultimate race of the season, final race of the round of 8, will be at Las Vegas in 2 weeks, November 6th. The final race of the year, November 13th. Oh, no! Wow! He saved it, though, Jason. Wow!
I was going to say, if your season comes down to a lap truck taking you out, I would just never come back. That would have been huge.
Wow.
The fact that the 0-0 just was able to save that. And I don't know if the 39 got loose off turn number 4, or if the 0-0 came up into him. Just from our camera angle, it was hard to tell. But white flag's out, one lap to go. And Dennis Moore, man, this guy is just on fire. Final time for 1 and 2, Wesley.
A man on a mission for the number 44. He will, by the way, in addition to winning here tonight, taking Iowa and Kentucky, join his teammate Ryan Bloom for now 6 wins in the year. Caution flag, flag to flag, race to the finish. Dennis Moore, not 1, but 2 wins in the round of 8 playoffs. Devin West will finish second. Kevin Smith lost ground to the 5. And how important is that also, Jason, when they tally up the points for a man that obviously is battling for the championship 4 with Devin West and Kevin Smith 3 and 4 coming into tonight's race. Wow.
Oh, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. You look at the point standings coming into tonight. Kevin Smith and Dan West Jr. were both tied with 4,044. You're going to leave tonight.
That's right.
Kevin Smith's going to have the upper advantage, but by 1 point pretty much. If I were Kevin Smith, I would not be happy with Stephen Bartlett right there in that number 39 machine. But, you know, we'll obviously have to see. And this
everybody is slowing down. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What is going on here? They're like, what are you guys doing? It's time for the Northwest High Five.
Oh, there we go.
What in the world? Come on, guys. It's like they were a deer in the headlights there for a second, Jason.
I think so. I don't know what everybody was doing.
Somebody bonsai the 44 coming in hot. I don't think anybody is. It's like oh, here he comes. Oh, look out, look out, look out. Oh, that was Harris.
Somebody just died.
Oh, wow. What made it pause like that and go so slow?
They were just all going slow. They were just all waiting up.
Here's your results from Kentucky tonight. Round of 8 playoffs. Race 2. Dennis Moore wins Iowa. He wins Kentucky. Devin West will finish second. Got around. Kevin Smith by the lap truck as a pick at the end for third. Dan West Jr. fourth. Toby Ritter's going to the top 5. Another consistent race again for Toby Ritter's. and Jeff Stabnow. Not wins, not podiums, but solid top 5s and top 10s. Brett Johnson, 7th in Truck 7. Sean Breitzman finishes 8th, first truck, or the last truck on the lead lap. Ryan Bloom is 9th. Frank Harris, Jason, will finish in the top 10 here tonight.
Yeah, rest of your field, you have James Vining, first one lap down there. At least I could see there. In 11th, you have Stephen Paulson coming home 12th. Dan Lather, Stephen Bartlett, BJ Tidrick, you have Troy Daggett, Ray Fournier, and Ron Hunter, a few of the guys who are out early on in this race, and that is your full 18 truck field results here tonight.
That's right. Not many entries, less than 20. Ron Hunter was an attempt to make the race, and unfortunately, he peeled off in the early going. Let's take a look one more time at the Virginia811.com. Dig with care race summary. 7 lead changes. A lot of them happened during pit stops. Green flag pit stops, that is. No cautions, no caution laps counted. 134 laps, flag to flag, green to checker. Coming up, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race wrap-up. We're going to get off the air quick. We're going to grab the podium and get the thoughts of Dennis Moore. Back-to-back round of 8 playoff wins for Dennis Moore for Win Racing. His 6th win overall on the year. Devin West, Kevin Smith on the podium. It's all next when we return. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest Truck Series playoffs. Round of 8, round 2 in the books. Jason Rockefeller stepping in, joining me on the Monday crew. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten on production. And let's grab the podium. Kevin Smith, oh so close to having a fast truck, a win, a pole. Just literally a runner-up finish was in your grasp, and then kind of a lap machine got in the way. But you got to be optimistic, though. A solid points day. You finish in 3rd.
Yeah, I'll take that 3rd. Obviously hoping to get another one of our trucks in the winner circle and get them locked in. But Dennis was super fast tonight, so congrats to him. He's really good on these style of tracks. And we'll take the 3rd and move on. Good points tonight.
Yeah, and Kevin obviously coming home 3rd tonight, man. Good run for you guys, and just by the looks of it, you and Dan were both tied coming to tonight here for that cutoff spot. Just from finishing 1 position above him, it looks like it's going to be coming down to 1 point coming into next week. How are your chances going in Loudon?
Well, I think we have a good set going into next week. We've already started working on it, and feel pretty confident about that track and the stuff we're going to bring to that track. So feel pretty good about our chances next week.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, if there's any inclination, if you couldn't win, it's got to be your win racing teams or teammates are doing what they need to do to advance to the championship 4. Is that the most important thing at the end of the rainbow?
Oh, it is. You know, Ryan got bit tonight. He had the wrong set in the truck when we fired off, which was unfortunate. Otherwise, we would have had a pretty good shot at a sweep. I was racing my butt off to keep Devin behind me. Those last 15 or 20 laps, man, he was so good. And then to get kind of involved with that lapper there was kind of frustrating. But anyways, I appreciate Devin running me clean. He ran a good race, and congratulations on your second. And Dennis on your win. Great job, guys.
Go ahead and thank your sponsors, Kevin.
Yeah, as always, CLICKIT RV. If anybody's in the market for something related to RVs, we're your source, so reach out. CLICKIT RV, MiltonFreewater.com. I want to thank you guys. You guys put on heck of a broadcast, and just really enjoy what you guys do. Such professionalism, and just a lot of fun to watch those things back, and watch the races. And then I want to thank the series. Sean and Jeff do a heck of a job on this series. It's a lot of fun. Great racers in the series to race against. And then obviously my teammates just put in a ton of work, bring great sets to the track every week. They're super fast, as you guys can see. Look forward to this battle coming down to the end with the LSRTV guys. It should be a lot of fun.
Win Racing's Kevin Smith third again tonight here at the race 2 in the round of 8 at Kentucky. Devin West got around Kevin Smith at the nick of time to finish in second. I keep hitting that refresh button, and it has finally updated. By the way, Devin West, you are now one of the drivers that have made it into the Final 4 by virtue of points. Not officially locked in yet. Kevin Smith as well. You are second. Devin West third. Dan West Jr. fourth. We'll mention the other guys in closing, but Devin, I guess at the end of the day, after a crazy, tumultuous year, that's what you're looking at, the big picture, to try to get a championship.
I'm locked in already?
So you're locked in by points. You're number 2 right now. You're number 2 in the points,
Okay.
or number 3 actually.
Okay, I'm assuming I'm probably going to run the last few races and do pretty well. But no, I mean, tonight was, I don't know. It's good and bad. I mean, we didn't start working on this track, in this race until, no joke, last night at 8:30. And that's honestly not too far off what most weeks are like. So to hear that these guys are working on next week's set already, kind of just, I mean, that pretty much goes to show why we're getting beat so bad. But that's just how it goes. We just don't have time for people to put in to do that. And all hats off go out to them. I mean, these guys are bringing in sets that, are crazy good. I mean, I felt like even with the little amount of practice we had last night, I liked our set. I felt like I had pretty good speed. To run second tonight, I feel like is one of the best drives on this service in a long time. So I don't know, I'm pretty happy.
And by the way, Jason, real quickly before I throw it to you, just to clarify, Dennis Moore is in the round of 4 by 2 playoff wins, obviously. Kevin Smith is second. Devin West is third. Dan West Jr. is fourth. By points, if it finished tonight, that would be your championship 4. But obviously, my friend, we got another 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, we got another 2 weeks to go for sure here. And Devin, that being said, how do you feel like your chances are? You talked about you guys didn't really start working on that set until, no joke, quote, last night at 8:30, man. How do you guys feel like your chances are over there to try to actually make it to the Final 4, even with Dennis now winning 2 races?
Yeah, I think if we want to get more than one truck in, we're going to have to win, right? I mean, there's no way we have 2 trucks, do better in points than those 3. So I feel like, one of those can get in, but to get doing, like I said, got to win. And when it comes on the final race, I mean, I think it's pretty dang evident we got to put more time in. And I think, we might do that, might not. But that's kind of why tonight was getting bad. I mean, to be able to run this well, on how much less practice, I guess is a good thing. I mean, we'll see. But no, I feel all right. I mean, like I said, got to win, got to get a truck to win. That's always the goal.
All right, brother, before I let you go, thank your sponsors, Devin. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, obviously, LSRTV, you guys have been both great, like Kevin said. Go back and watch the races. And like Kevin said, CLICKIT RV, sponsors in the series. I know we all at LSRTV appreciate that a ton. Then also my sponsors, Effective Web Solutions, Kenny Salesman Hardwood, and Washington City Supply. Oh, and Motorsports Distributing.
Devin West, the Shelton, Washington driver, the driver for Team LSRTV. Solid run tonight. He'll finish on the podium in the number 2 spot. Another Win Racing driver in victory lane, joining Kevin Smith at 3rd. 2 wins in a row. 6th win tying Ryan Bloom. The 44, formerly Beaver State Racing driver, Dennis Moore. Dennis Moore, big congratulations to you. Man, when it counted the most, you're in the hunt. And listen, you didn't really have to really win this race, but you just really wanted to, right? Congrats to you.
Yeah, I think always the goal is to win the race. I would have liked to see one of the other guys win it, but just had a little more speed than Kevin did on the long run, which is typical. I mean, he's really good on the short run. I usually catch him on the long run, but 3 wins in a row, I can't be happier about that.
And Dennis, rather, congratulations, man, on another win. You've been so strong this season. Do you feel like you are the favorite when you do go into that championship 4 and compete for that title?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. 2 wins in a round of 4. Won the last 3 races, had a great year, 22 top 10s, consistent year. So it'll be tough racing against, whoever else makes it between Kevin, Ryan, Devin, Dan, the rest of the LSRTV guys. But yeah, I hope I can make the race.
Got a question to ask you, and we'll wrap it up with you thanking your sponsors, Dennis Moore. The race in general, I noticed there was a little bit of give and take in the beginning of the race between you and Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom. Was that because you knew you were already locked in the Final 4 for the championship at Auto Club? And did those green flag pit stops literally change the sequence of where you had to run your own race and pull away from your teammates, and that's what you had to do at the end to win?
Yeah, the start of the night was my goal to get one of those guys a win. So I was just riding behind Kevin there for, the first 45 laps or what it was. And then I went longer and realized I was going to, pass him on the long run either way. So I just decided to run the same strategy as those guys there, the last pit stop. And, that was a difference because I just had better long run speed, I guess. But my sponsors, CLICKIT RV, reach out to Kevin, Milton Freewater. LSRTV, you guys, thank you for doing what you do. The league, everyone in the league, especially Sean and Jeff, and then my teammates. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Dennis Moore, winner not only of last week at Iowa, he also wins tonight at Kentucky. Next race will be at New Hampshire next week. Oh, and by the way, the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series will be at Iowa again this upcoming Wednesday night. Jason Rockefeller, buddy, always fun working with you. Your final take of this race tonight in Kentucky, and again another big win for Win Racing, and obviously it looks like it's going to come down to them along with Team LSRTV in the run to the playoffs.
Yeah, I had a great time, obviously, coming over here on the Monday side of things for once, being able to call this race with you, Wesley, and watching the trucks battle again. It was nice change of pace for me. I absolutely loved it. Good race tonight. Strategy worked out, and I really do think that Dennis Moore is probably the one to beat heading into these next couple of races here. But don't forget about the rest of the guys, though, who are right around that bubble. I think that this cutoff race is going to be really, really interesting.
And by the way, I got to say something before we go off the air. Ryan Bloom, the man that's really done good in the regular season, Jason, 6 wins, now tied with Dennis Moore, obviously with his win number 6 tonight. He is on the outside looking in. He is number 6. Jeff Stabnow, Toby Ritters, Sean Brightsman. These guys are top contenders that are now under attack to not make the Final 4.
Yeah, and that would be so interesting if Ryan Bloom were not able to make it through that Final 4. I mean, he's been so good this year. It would almost be like a Kevin Harvick moment, back in 2020. Kevin didn't make that round. He had 9 wins that season and missed it by just, unfortunately not having a good round of 8. Unfortunately, it's been like that for Lion Bloom, solid time. Just not able to get it done for now.
Next Monday night will be again Halloween Eve at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and again, the Fixed Setup Series will be at Iowa this Wednesday. On behalf of Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, Sean Breitzman, everybody with the Northwest Racing Series, iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, for Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland. Good night from virtual Kentucky. Dennis Moore wins 6 of the year, 2 wins in the playoffs, and it's on to the Magic Mile, New Hampshire, next Monday.